exist for one reason: to give you the thrills of a lifetime.
Here we go, kicking off like a rocket, 100 miles an hour. Scream Park is all about thrills.
Scream Park is an amusement park that has a lot of rides that really make you scream.
They've turned ordinary rides into extraordinary challenges.
Well, when you get up to the top of that lift and you start that 255-foot drop, you know why we call it Goliath.
But what goes on behind the thrills?
Very similar to an automobile. Every roller coaster has basically an operating manual.
That's all there is to it.
Given the fact that we are a 100-acre park, we are, in a sense, a miniature city here.
And how do they build a world-class thrill ride?
Parks have to give visitors a new reason to visit every year.
We are about to go on some of the wildest rides in the world and find out what it takes to turn a theme park into a scream park. Of the more than 1,200 scream parks around the world, more than 600 of them are in the United States, touting the biggest, fastest, and the most thrilling ride. And almost anywhere you live, there's one nearby. To the east, it may be Busch Gardens, Williamsburg in Virginia, or Kennywood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. In the Midwest, Sandusky, Ohio, Cedar Point has more rides than any other scream park. And heading southwest near Dallas, there is Six Flags over Texas. And on the West Coast, just north of Los Angeles, California, we went behind the scenes at Six Flags Magic Mountain to find out what it takes to run a scream park. Each year, millions of thrill seekers pass through its gates, experiencing an amazing collection of attractions.
Magic Mountain has, I think, one of every kind of ride imaginable. They have wet rides. They've got a water park next door. They've got beautifully themed family area, opportunities to play games, have some fast foods, have some slow foods, everything you could imagine in an amusement park, you'll find at Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Since it opened in 1971, the park's biggest attraction have been its groundbreaking thrill rides.
They've had a number of rides that have set records when they were introduced. Such rides as Colossus, when it was introduced, was the largest wooden roller coaster. Riddler's Revenge, which remains the world's tallest and fastest stand-up coaster. Batman the Ride, one of the very first inverted coasters. Viper, the world's tallest and fastest looping coaster. Superman the Ride retains the title as flat out the world's fastest and tallest coaster. 0 to 100 miles per hour in 7 seconds. That momentum carries you up a 412-foot tower until you stall out. You're weightless for 6.5 seconds, then drop back. Again, going 100 miles per hour backwards before you level off and brake to a stop. That is a magnificent coaster experience, one of my all-time favorite rides.
Coaster enthusiasts from around the world regard Superman as one of the world's most extreme scream machines.
Superman the Escape is one of the most amazing rides ever built. It's a technological masterpiece.
It has amazing speed, amazing G-forces, and an amazing amount of airtime. Coaster enthusiasts will travel hundreds of miles for a moment of airtime. And this one gives you more than 6 seconds of it. On a number of categories, this one is definitely on the top of the list. You sit down in the seat. There's a little tiny lap bar. That's not much holding you in.
Stand by for launch.
When the ride takes off like a rocket.
Here we go! Taking off like a rocket! 100 miles an hour! Incredible speed! Heading skyward! Crashing into the sea! Incredible view! 400 feet up! Oh my God, what a view! Heading, plummeting down to the earth! Crashing into the sea again! Now the magnets are pulling us down again! Man, that's an extreme ride! Woo! Woo!
Wanting to keep with their tradition of introducing world-class scream machines, Six Flags Magic Mountain set out to build Goliath, the steel giant that would be the first coaster to bring in the new millennium. It would tower 255 feet above the earth with one of the world's tallest drops. To be designed by the Swiss ride manufacturing company Goliath, this 85-mile-per-hour scream machine would become one of the fastest traditional coasters anywhere in the world. This animated prototype previewed the thrills to come. But first, it had to be built.
We started planning Goliath in 1998 to add to our collection of unique ride experiences here. And we wanted to be the first theme park in the world to open a new thrill ride in the Millennium.
Once the land of a chosen site is custom graded and 65-foot deep concrete foundations are poured, the more than 700 prefabricated track parts manufactured in Switzerland and the U.S. begin to arrive.
The first few weeks, the parts come in, they're just all mixed up on different trucks. And then it's up to us as the erector as it arrives to sort and group the parts so that there's some sort of organization as the parts come into the actual work site.
With the track parts on site, a team of steel workers that specializes in thrill rides will erect the track. First, sections are pre-bolted. Next, the raising gang takes over and uses a 300-foot crane to hoist the pre-assembled sections into place, where they are then secured.
So you're looking at the top of the lift. That's the highest point right there. That's approximately 252 feet from the base dimension of the ride. And that's where the track breaks over, the top of the lift, and now we start to dive, and this is gonna be one big dive right down there to section 21, where you dive into a tunnel. And that'll actually exceed the lift height, which is still classified at this time.
By November 11th, 1999, just 5 months into construction, the first track section of Goliath's record-breaking drop is raised and bolted into place, bringing the supercoaster nearer to completion. Goliath's more than 15,000 bolts will go through a final tightening process. And with crews dangling sometimes hundreds of feet in the air, it takes nerves of steel to get the job done. Besides the erection of the track, many trades are involved in the construction, such as carpenters to build the Q house, and welders to help create Goliath's entry gate, touting its name in 20-foot tall letters. Construction is nearly finished by December of 1999. But there's still the task of landscaping, and 1 month of testing which must occur prior to Goliath's opening date in the year 2000. During the height of their operating season, Scream Parks have the daunting challenge of providing non-stop thrills and excitement to their guests. From daybreak to past sunset, 7 days a week, their Scream machines must deliver.
People come to the park and ride a roller coaster and not realize the actual amount of maintenance and supplies that go behind operating a world-class attraction. And just like operating an automobile, you're going to have to replace your tires and your spark plugs and whatnot. And a roller coaster may go through hundreds of tires within the course of a year. And we have over 100 rides and attractions within this park. That's a lot of spare parts and supplies to run this place. Given the fact that we are a 100-acre park, we are, in a sense, a miniature city here. And the tool crib is basically Six Flags Magic Mountain version of a general store. So anything that we need to operate Magic Mountain can be found here in Tool Crib.
This 7,400 square foot warehouse houses more than 10,000 parts. That includes 104,000 screws and bolts and more than 1,400 wheels. In fact, every part for every one of Six Flags Magic Mountain rides can be found here.
Okay, these are lubricators and filters for the Batman Riddler.
The tool crib has so many parts that it rivals some of the largest hardware stores in Southern California. The task of keeping this immense amount of supplies in order is overseen by warehouse foreman Jim Brock.
Every ride in the park has a section here. As you can tell, this is Daredevil from here down. Superman from here to here. It's Roaring Rapids. Go around the corner, you have all the new kiddie rides.
Has he been working here a long time?
18 years, I think is the last count.
Try 21 years.
Oh, 21, sorry.
The tool crib offers a wide variety of items, from generic to custom-made parts designed specifically for certain rides.
2 minute tubes for 2 tires.
And the maintenance staff can easily find any component that may be needed for any given ride, thanks to an organized system of manuals.
Very similar to an automobile. Every roller coaster has basically an operating manual.
Bumper car tires.
And the maintenance staff is in here on a constant basis. They look up all the different parts you need to run each attraction. So our maintenance staff is able to get out there and have things replaced really quick and efficiently with little disruptions to the park guests.
Okay, this is a dog chain that one of our maintenance guys, Dean, will be changing out for Viper.
Most ride maintenance begins at the tool crib.
Here you go, man. One dog chain. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right.
When a maintenance staff member picks up any necessary tools or parts. Today, lead ride mechanic Dean Buteau will perform preventative maintenance on Viper. Dean and his crew are responsible for all mechanical components on ride vehicles and their tracks.
What I'm going to do is change this. Technical term for it is the chain lifting dog. This carries the train up the lift of the ride itself. So the reason we would change it during regular maintenance is checking for mushrooming of the bottom of it or the mouth of where the barrel of the chain hits. Periodically, they have to be changed.
Each of the parked coasters has a maintenance area called the storage track. Situated alongside the ride, it allows a complete and detailed inspection of the underneath components.
Understood. The most challenging part of our job that we have to perform is the track walk-in inspections.
Dean and his ride maintenance crew scale perilous heights to manually inspect every inch of track.
Every day. It takes a couple hours per ride, and it takes time, and you have to be very careful. It's quite slippery up there. We go out and we walk through and go for safety inspection, structure inspection, stress cracks, wear.
These safety inspections take place around the clock to make sure rides run smoothly and safely.
We're here at 5 o'clock in the morning starting before sunup, and we usually don't get finished with the preventative maintenance procedures on each ride until just before the park opens, and then we'll start again as the park closes.
Though the schedule is grueling, Dean knows the efforts of he and his crew will be enjoyed by millions.
Seeing the guests have a good time would be the ultimate reward of doing this daily, in and out, constantly. It makes it worthwhile.
Hi, my name's Tressa. I'm about to take you on a ride on the Viper. Right now we're making our way up to the top of the lift. It's about 180 feet tall. This is one of the biggest looping coasters in the world. Its first loop, really tall, about 140 feet. Bottom of this first drop, we're going to reach about 4 Gs. Here we go! Whoa! There's a great loop! The tallest in the world! Wow! We're about to 2 more loops right now. Here we go. Loop number 2. Wow! Number 3. Loop number 3. Wow! There's about 7 inversions in this ride. Coming up next, there's a double barrel butterfly. It looks like a pretzel. Here we go. Wow! Number 5. Wow! Oh, the little brake turns really tight. There's a double corkscrew! Wow! Wow! The Viper at now is now 6 Flags. You gotta ride it.
Here at Magic Mountain, we're actually in the desert, and you walk around, you'll see palm trees, you'll see redwoods, you'll see pines, the different shrubs, tropical ferns, and everything. We have it all, and it really is an oasis. If you get an overall view of it, if you go up on our sky tower, you'll see it, and you look around the surrounding landscape, you're in the middle of a desert, and you have just this green mountain standing out by itself.
It takes a green thumb crew of more than 20 to tackle the never-ending job of landscaping.
Many people take for granted that this stuff is just like this all the time. You just put it in the ground and you put a little water on it and it stays. There's irrigation, there's fertilizing, there's pruning, there's trimming, the constant maintenance. And one frost or someone stepping on it or pulling them out just ruins that look, and you start over. It's year-round, 7 days a week, nonstop.
Besides maintaining more than 30,000 trees and shrubs throughout the park, close to 3,000 flats of annual flowers are planted each year.
Even the seasons are part of the show. When people come in the spring, they want to see spring color. In the winter, you want to see the winter color. It becomes all part of the overall theme.
In January of the year 2000, as construction is nearly finished on Six Flags Magic Mountain's newest attraction, Goliath, the empty canvas that lies below it is ready for its own newly themed landscaping.
We tried to create a tropical look and give it that overall theme of a jungle, and we came in with palm trees and ferns and bamboo, and in a couple of years it's going to look terrific. It'll fill in and you'll have that real jungle look that we were trying for.
In the years to come, visitors will not only enjoy the thrills provided by rides like Goliath, but also the wide variety of scenic landscaping that surrounds the park. Scream Park, there are many transportation needs. From shuttling guests from one side of the park to another, to maintenance vehicles used by employees. Maintaining Six Flags Magic Mountain's hundreds of vehicles and nearly anything with a motor falls into the hands of vehicle maintenance foreman Lynn Barnes.
This is the vehicle maintenance department. We maintain over 250 pieces of equipment. Oh, I've been involved in this field actually for 29 years. And I've been here almost 11 years.
During those 11 years, Lynn's shop has performed about 15,400 oil changes and has repaired more than 8,000 tires.
We service, maintain, construct, rehab, anything from a 10-wheel dump truck all the way down to a cement mixers, chainsaws, generators, backhoes, cranes. We have all the stunt vehicles. Of course, the trams that we use to bring the people into the park from the parking lot. It's about anything that you could imagine you'd work on here.
One of the many vehicles under Lynn's care is part of the Gotham City Backlot Stunt Show. Driven by the legendary comic book hero Batman, the Batmobile arrives at Lynn's shop after a season of performing. This custom-made machine is also equipped with conventional steering, brakes, and a conventional engine.
Fill it up! It's a Chevrolet 350 cubic inch displacement engine, same as in a Corvette. The driver would not drive from a conventional position. He would be in his little well here. He sees out through the mesh, and this is so that the actor can ride in the back and can do his acting and doesn't have to concentrate on missing anything in the stunt show on the set. This vehicle could be operated on the streets and probably would be able to run in excess of 100 miles an hour. But because it isn't street legal, in other words, it doesn't have bumpers, it doesn't have the windshield, it doesn't have proper fenders, we're not allowed to operate it on the streets. But from what I understand, the only person that is allowed to operate this is Batman, because he has a special permit that allows him to do so.
Most rides at a modern-day Scream Park are equipped with complex computer and electrical systems. And with more than 100 rides, Six Flags Magic Mountain has an enormous amount of this state-of-the-art equipment. Chris Knight is one of 20 skilled electricians who maintains the park's electrical systems.
When I do maintenance on the rides, as an electrician, I'm checking for all the sensors, making sure they operate correctly. I check all the valves, all the pressure switches, for all the brakes, basically all the buttons, all the lights on the panels, checking all that stuff.
Electrical maintenance begins hours before the park opens for the day. Located in Gotham City, Riddler's Revenge is one of the many rides Chris is responsible for.
This right here is one of the sensors we have mounted on the track here at Riddler's Revenge, similar to most all rides. The way the sensor works is that it's mounted on the track just like so. And what happens is when the train goes by, the wheel of the train, it senses that in close proximity just like that, and then it sends a signal back to the computer, the PLC. And that's how we know where the trains are at all times. Right now I'm just checking for loose connections and whatnot. Very typical, one of the things we need to do on a maintenance level.
After checking 75 sensors, along with many other electrical components on Riddler's Revenge, Chris must inspect this thrill ride's nerve center.
Clearly the question marks on the walls indicate that we are in the Riddler's Revenge control room. Now as I open the doors, we have a PLC right here. Now basically this is the brain of the ride, and this is actually the computer right here, and all these are inputs and outputs. Basically what will happen is the operator will just hit a button when they're ready, and the computer takes over everything, does everything on its own, all the braking, all the system blocking, it does everything by itself.
Once all systems check out okay, it's ready to ride.
Okay, what is green, extreme, and full of scream? That's right, it's the Riddler's Revenge here at Six Flags Magic Mountain. My name is Chris, and I'm one of the maintenance employees here. Riddler's Revenge is the world's largest, tallest, fastest stand-up roller coaster. It goes upside down 6 times, 4 different ways, and it's an amazing ride. Here we go, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're 156 feet right now, dropping all the way to the ground. Okay, we're doing 65 miles an hour to the world's tallest chute, 124 feet. Now we're gonna go through a left-handed dive roll. And now through a right-handed dive roll. Now our next inversion is called an incline loop. Just a vertical loop tilted at 45 degrees. Up here for a little breather. And to the first corkscrew, here we go. That was a left-handed corkscrew. Up to the camel hog, this is a lot of fun. Little floating sensation there. To a 540-degree helix. All upward. As we near the last inversion, a right-handed corkscrew. And that is Riddler's Revenge here at Six Flags Magic Mountain.
In January of the year 2000, Goliath is ready for its train to be placed on its tracks. But before any human can experience Goliath's 255-foot drop, a series of tests must be conducted to ensure its safety.
Right now we're at the end of building the world's largest roller coaster. This has been approximately 1 year, and right now we're in our testing phase. This requires about a month of testing to ensure that everything is operating according to design.
This painstaking process includes structural inspections, brake testing, and load testing, where sandbags are loaded into the trains to simulate the weight of passengers. And when all tests are complete, it's a Scream Park tradition that those who built it are first to ride.
We've completed all of our load testing, so we're about to get on, and this is the best part of this job, not only my job but everybody's, is that we're about to do the first ride and see what it does. Let's go. The best ride is the first ride. Huh? Oh, yeah, oh my God.
Oh, man! Oh, this is beautiful!
Well, I'll tell you what, that one blows your hair back.
With its first customer satisfied, Goliath awaits its opening day less than 1 month away.
You guys want to go again? Yeah. Let's go once more.
During a busy operating day at a Scream Park, thousands of employees may be working. And like any city, good communication is an important asset to keep it running smoothly. At Six Flags Magic Mountain, this vital role is filled 24 hours a day at the Communications Center.
The comm center is vital to running the park if you look at it like a miniature city. We are the central location where any calls come in so they can be dispatched to supervisors or any outside communications to the park.
Anyone working on any given day can be contacted with one call, ensuring quick solutions to any problem that may arise throughout the day.
If there was an issue on a ride where the ride stopped operating or the ride operators felt they needed to have a maintenance person come out and do an inspection or follow up on something, they would call the communications center. Their supervisor would be dispatched along with a maintenance person that would go out and take a look at the problem.
Yeah, 10 forward, section J, 4 to 5, we kind of...
Ultimately, the Communications Center serves as a major support system for all employees throughout the park.
It's important that people in the field know that there's someone behind the radio that understands what's going on out in the park, can assist them as they're needed, and that's the only thing that they're here to do is to assist the people that are out working in the park.
If you've ever spent any time at a Scream Park, you'll know that to ride the big rides, you must exceed a certain height. But there is a section at Six Flags Magic Mountain specially designed for those little guys who don't quite make that 48-inch height requirement. Themed with a full cast of Looney Tunes characters, Bugs Bunny World offers 16 pint-sized rides and attractions.
The area really is kind of neat because it's really a thrill seeker's area in training. So it's thrills for our younger guests who really someday are looking at Superman the Escape and Goliath as rides they want to ride.
If goofing around is preferred to rides, you'll want to stop in at the 6,000 square foot Looney Tunes Lodge.
Welcome to Looney Tunes Lodge. The entire area is filled with air guns and blasters, all operating with these foam balls. You can throw them at each other, you can launch them, you can shoot them, you can blast them, you can load them up and dump them on your mom and dad when they come in, and you can just really have a good time in here.
Every year, during the month of October, park guests are treated to spine-shivering encounters with hundreds of ghosts and goblins.
You know what this is? This is Fright, baby, yeah!
Halloween has become the second most popular holiday.
Got it!
And the parks have realized that there's a lot of potential in developing fun houses and fright fests around the time during the month of October to celebrate Halloween. People really love to get scared on that level.
Six Flags Magic Mountain's annual Fright Fest enlists the help of over 200 actors and 20 makeup artists.
Sorry. You all right? Who's got the tooth rod?
Before any of the victims arrive, each actor is painstakingly transformed into a monstrous creation.
What I'm putting on right now is Telesis. It's a medical adhesive. It's the glue that we found that works the best and adheres the best to the talent's face. This is going to be the first piece I'm putting on, and it should roughly take anywhere between an hour or two to get him completely done in costume, makeup, and everything.
Making people feel terror gives me a rush. Once I get my makeup put on, I'll be really scared.
In one Halloween season, makeup artists will go through 750 latex appliances and 10 gallons of fake blood.
When he's all done, we're going to add some teeth right into this area, some acrylic teeth. And he's got one white contact in already. We're all done.
Once in full costume and makeup, this group of ghastly thespians roams the park in search of screams. For a truly horrific experience, Fright seekers can enter one of 4 walk-through spook houses, offered only during the hallowed month of Fright Fest. Alice Cooper's Brutal Planet is just one of these haunted mazes.
It's a walkthrough experience, and you never quite know what's going to be around the next corner because there are a lot of live actors who will just come out and jump in front of you, or there'll be something mechanical that'll jump out in front of you. And you just don't know quite what to expect when you're walking through these dark hallways.
Anytime there is an imagined danger or something there to startle or frighten you, it's the same kind of adrenaline rush you get if you're on a roller coaster at high speed. Turns out that's fun.
During Fright Fest, even the roller coasters are haunted, as signified by this 50-foot spider straddling the side of Colossus.
In addition, Fright Fest adds a really unique element. We turn our world-class coaster Colossus backwards, which only happens during the month of October, so it's really a special time. We've also taken 2 of our signature roller coasters, which is Viper and Batman the Ride. We've turned off all of the lights in the track area. So not only do you get to ride those great rides, but you ride them completely in the dark. It just gives it that extra cool element for Halloween.
While conquering the thrill rides of a modern-day scream park, thrill seekers build hearty appetites. And on a busy day, Six Flags Magic Mountain must accommodate a staggering number of hungry guests.
Well, here in the park, we operate 55 food locations, anywhere from full-service restaurants to midway cart operations in the park. We have 1,000 employees that work in the department, and we serve thousands of people every day. On a summer day, we serve 30,000 meals and in excess of 30,000 snacks. Each year, we serve 500,000 cheeseburgers and over 5 million soft drinks. If you were to line up all of the French fries that we served last year, it would be a span from Los Angeles to Cleveland, Ohio.
And for dessert, guests can visit the Coaster Candy Company, where they can get freshly made sweets.
As everyone knows, candy is a tradition for theme park goers. Our number 1 item in the park is our caramel apples and candy apples that we make here. And we sell over 200,000 of them in about a 3 or 4 month period.
Perfect.
We started that tradition 20 years ago and just kept the process going. It's certainly been very popular with all of our park guests.
Is that for you?
Yeah. With their sweet tooth satisfied, guests can try their skill at another Scream Park tradition. Games. If you can't win a souvenir, you can always go shopping and buy one.
I'm an expert at this. Let me help you shop. You definitely need a Goliath t-shirt. It's very important. Purple Viper Super Cup. Can't beat it. One of every color. Of our 22 merchandise stores, Flags is definitely our biggest and our busiest. It's located at the main gate, so everyone leaving the park runs in and picks up that last-minute souvenir. Can't bet that.
On February 11th of the year 2000, Goliath opened to the public. Actor David Arquette, along with more than 500 other Davids from around the country, was on hand to conquer the new Millennium Giant.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall! Yes!
Goliath begins with a 26-story climb into the sky. Then plunges 255 feet at a 61-degree angle into a 120-foot tunnel shrouded in darkness. Shooting 100 feet over the top of the one-time tallest wooden coaster Colossus, riders dive 186 feet into the second drop. The following hill gives 3 seconds of airtime while racing at 85 miles per hour. Finally, Goliath sends thrill seekers into a helix, pulling an amazing 4 Gs. On over 4,500 feet of steel track with daring plunges and huge sweeping spirals, Goliath is the first roller coaster of the 21st century.
Hi, I'm David, and this is Goliath. We are heading up Goliath's 235-foot first hill. We're going to be heading down a 61-degree drop, 20 feet underground. And, you know, if we do some quick math, that's 235 feet, 20 feet, 255 feet. And we're going to be going over the other side at over 85 miles an hour. Are you guys ready? Yeah. Let's conquer Goliath! Woo! Yes! Oh, man, look at this thing! Let's go! Now that was incredible! We have an 186-foot drop! It's the second drop! Totally out of your seat airtime! Right under the trim brake. We've got just a breather, 1 second, and we're heading into the most incredible part of the ride, the infamous helix. And you can tell I'm tearing up. And here we go. I can't talk. I just, God. 4 Gs, and it's like a plastered to my seat. Oh, and this incredible turn and back up into this brake run, thankfully. Oh. Well, there you have it, Goliath, the most incredible roller coaster on Earth. You gotta come out and check this out. You guys want to ride again? Yeah!
To provide the screams at a Scream Park, it takes a massive daily effort. And Six Flags Magic Mountain is no exception.
People don't realize that we're like a major city. We have over 3,500 seasonal employees at peak time. We also entertain millions of people a year. So you have to have a lot of different functions, and you have to work together as a team. That's how we work together here. We're all a team.
They come for the park atmosphere, and they come for the food. But most of all, come for the Scream Machine.
The Scream Park is all about thrills. If you don't have major roller coasters, there's no way you're going to be a Scream Park. People expect to have major thrill rides here. We've been introducing them now for some 25 plus years. It's what we're known for. So we'll continue to introduce major thrill rides at this park.
the sun sets and the day's final screams are heard, the evidence is clear of a job well done.
At the end of the day, when we see people walking through the park with smiles on their faces, we know we've done our job.
What are the best rides near you? See what was voted #1 and get some chills of your own at Discovery.com. Next, ride the roller coasters of tomorrow. Explore the technology behind the rides of the new millennium as thrills, chills, and spills continues.